Welcome to Shepherd's Heart International Ministry. Shepherd's Heart, or SHIM, was founded in January of 2007. Its primary purpose is to share the love and the truth of Jesus Christ to the inhabitants of the 52 islands here in the Buvuma Island Chain. This is done by networking with local communities and churches and empowering Indigenous leaders in reaching their own people, thus bringing transformation to their communities. In the past 3 years, SHIM's outreach has extended beyond the islands to other parts of Uganda as well. SHIM was founded by Pastor Mumbia Samson, Pastor Robert Wafula, and my wife, Kiki Karina Smith. In the past several years, God has added to the SHIM family. It now includes 14 members. The ministries of Shepherd's Heart International include discipleship and evangelism, family ministry, economic development, including agriculture and assisting families with small businesses, educational development, including our support and oversight of the Lingira Living Hope Secondary School and the Child Development Sponsorship Program. It also includes a media ministry and the Lake Victoria Water and Sanitation Project.
The following video will give you a closer look at the Ministry of Child Development and how it is touching and impacting the lives of our island youth.
It is often said that young people are our future. With youth 15 and younger comprising more than half of Uganda's population, that phrase is very true in this East African country. But for many of Uganda's youth, their futures are dim and their options are few. As Shepherd's Heart has worked for the transformation of hearts and lives in the Buvuma Islands, a major emphasis has been in helping the youth of this area. One branch of Shepherd's Heart, the Child Development Program, also known as CD, exists to minister to the young people of the islands. The Child Development mission statement is to promote holistic development by practically demonstrating the unconditional love of God to vulnerable children. A main focus of the CD program is assisting students with school tuition by linking them with sponsors from the U.S. $30 a month helps meet most, if not all, of the students' educational needs. When a child's sponsorship begins from a young age, the money needed for school is much less, but extra funds accumulate in their account, helping them in their education as costs increase. With the help of our faithful sponsors, Child Development is presently assisting about 50 students. There are students enrolled in primary and secondary schools, as well as vocational institutions and universities. In Uganda, education is not a right, it is a privilege. We have heard story after story of children being chased or excluded from school because they could not pay the required fees. Some students are years behind in their education simply because they had to quit to work for the needed money or wait for someone to help them. Timothy and his sister Gloria have been helped by CD for several years. Presently, they are studying in the upper levels of secondary school. Raised in a polygamous Muslim family, they came to Christ in their mid-teens, largely due to the influence of a Christian grandmother who was caring for them after their mother died. Timothy and Gloria were disowned by their father after they committed their lives to Christ. The siblings faced more challenges when tragedy pushed them further from their own relatives. We were staying with our grandmother in 2008, recalls Timothy. Our grandmother was killed, and all my brothers and sisters were chased away from home for the relatives to attend to the properties. When they rented the properties, they never accepted my sisters and brothers to stay again at home. Unable to rely on their family to assist them through school, Timothy and Gloria have been helped by generous sponsors. These sponsors have demonstrated the love of Christ and given this brother and sister hope for the future. At one time, once the islanders graduated from the primary or elementary level, they could only continue with their education by going to the mainland, where schools are more expensive and not as accessible for those on the island. For some students, this was nearly impossible, and so their schooling ended at a young age. By God's grace, Lingira Living Hope Secondary School was established in February 2006 as one of only 2 secondary schools in the Buvuma Island Chain. It is located in Choya Village on Lingira Island, near the Shim base. About 100 students are presently enrolled and an estimated 25% are sponsored through Shim. Since Lingira Living Hope began in early 2006, the island's primary school has seen an increase in enrollment. In 2010, Lingira Primary is expected to graduate approximately 130 students, up from only 8 students 4 years ago. In the future, the secondary school would like to welcome more students from the islands and beyond, but presently the school is lacking student housing and additional classrooms. We thank God for the funds that were recently donated to Shim to complete the classroom block. Child development is more than a sponsorship program. As well as assisting with school fees, CD aims to provide the students with encouragement, spiritual mentoring, and instruction in such topics as life skills, morality, and wise decision making. A family atmosphere is encouraged among those in the program. Child Development is excited to share about a new opportunity that we hope will make education even more accessible to those of the islands. Starting February 2011, Child Development will be working with Lingira Living Hope to offer a cost-sharing program to students and their families. Under the program, CD will pay 40% of a student's term fees if the student and their parents pay their 60% portion within a set time limit. The money will be drawn from a pool of funds supplied by gifts from friends and donors. We believe this program will benefit the school by generating more income and assisting the school in becoming more self-sustainable. And our desire is that the program assists students and their families, enabling them to become more responsible for their education. The cost-sharing program will run alongside the current CD sponsorship program, which assigns individual students to individual sponsors. The cost-sharing program is a partnership among Shim, Lingira Living Hope, the students and their families, and you, our friends and supporters. To ensure this new program succeeds, we need your help by your prayers and your financial support. For more about child development, to inquire about sponsoring a student, or to find out more about the cost-sharing program, visit the Shepherd's Heart website at www.shimuganda.com or email shim@shimuganda.com.